Do you feel the vibes?
Hello gold farmers, welcome to another Drill and Rods farming video. Today I am going to go over the silk cloth shuffle. This shuffle I don't really recommend unless if you actually farm the cloth, mostly because the cloth sells for quite a bit on the auction house and you don't make that large of a profit from buying silk cloth already off the auction house unless if it's fairly cheap. I will usually craft the silk headband or any of the other recipes that use 3 bolts. You can do the Azure Silk Hood, but it also takes dyes, and I believe it takes longer to craft, so it's not very time consuming. You can get quite a bit of soul dust from this shuffle. Soul dust on my server right now is selling for around 5 gold a unit, which is fairly expensive for a dust. I will usually use macros, but I don't believe I have one set up for silk cloth, mostly because of how often I actually use this. There are several farming locations for silk cloth that you can use to make a little bit more gold from. A lot of times I will just save my silk cloth and decide whether or not I want to mess with turning the silk into dust, or if I want to just sell the cloth raw. A lot of times I'll just sell it raw because I have so many other cloths that I can turn into shuffles and make gold that way. I guess soul dust has gone up on my server to around 7 gold a unit. So I can make quite a bit more gold. Although silk cloth has a fairly high item value to begin with. So if it's not very high on your server, then I do recommend that you use this shuffle if you can actually make a profit off of it. If soul dust doesn't sell for that much either, then you can't really make a profit off of it. But if silk cloth for some reason is fairly cheap on your server, you can buy it out and make quite a bit of gold just turning it over into dust, and you can make a decent amount of gold just camping the auction house using the other shuffles that I have already mentioned. A lot of times I will also sit at the auction house, or whenever I get on my mage, I will check the auction house for the cheap cloth and buy it out, and then I usually try to turn it into bolts before I log off. Depends on my mood. That way I don't have to wait an hour for me to get done crafting bolts. One of my favorite farms that yields silk cloth will be the Mr. Greb's farm that you can find on my channel. Not only do you get a lot of silk cloth, but you get a lot of transmog items along with a chance of getting Mr. Greb's. Though you have to have Fiona's Lucky Charm on before you can get the bag that will drop Mr. Greb's. If you want to play around and test out the Silk Cloth Shuffle, that is a really good farm to check out and test the Silk Cloth Shuffle on. I am hoping to get back into live streaming. I actually plan on doing one here fairly soon. I'm not sure when, but it'll probably be over my shuffles. Mostly because there's a lot of mixed opinions on whether the shuffles will actually work or not. So a lot of the gold that I actually make comes from all sorts of shuffles. I actually don't go out and farm as much as I used to because I don't have a lot of time. So I will watch the auction house for cheap materials and then turn them into a different material. One of the big ones is the arcane shuffle. It's slowly becoming less optimal. It's slowly becoming a little bit less optimal, mostly because I feel like a lot of people have the transmog that you use the arcane crystals for, or the arcanite bars for, so the value of them are slowly starting to decrease along with the rate of which they sell for. The Dreamleaf shuffle is also a really good shuffle for me, and oddly enough, the Star Knight shuffle, which I don't believe I've gone over yet, but I do plan on going over it very soon. For now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.